Paul, you're the godfather of the P1 program, as I'm led to believe. Tell me what makes this car so special.
Okay, so the P1 GTR, we produced the P1, 375 units, and some owners came to us and said, look, come on, let's put it on the track. And part of McLaren special operation, we try not to say no. And so it was our pleasure to put together the McLaren P1 GTR. But the P1 GTR is not just a P1 on slicks, it's so much more than that.
Okay.
So the actual powertrain, we've increased it up to 1,000 PS. So
Right.
there's heavy modifications to the engine. We're getting 800 PS from the engine and 200 PS from the electric motor. The actual electric motor in here is the same which is actually used in Formula E, so the new racing series.
How heavy are the motors? Because I tend to think about a motor being as a big old lump with lots of windings and so on. Has it changed that much?
It's
now?
incredible. The size of the electric motor here is about so diameter and about that long.
That's
about
nothing,
that
is
long.
it?
It's nothing. It's fairly heavy.
Yeah.
You know, the total hybrid system of in this vehicle weighs about 170 kilos.
Okay.
But that's chucking out a lot of power.
So it's worth the weight
Absolutely.
penalty.
When we developed the P1 for the beginning, we always said that the hybrid system had to pay for itself. It couldn't just be a passenger.
Sure.
It had to pay for itself. The P1 is faster and a better car for being a hybrid.
Right. In terms of power to weight ratio, I remember there always used to be this magic figure when I was a kid of 100 bhp per tonne. I mean, that's eclipsed now.
Do you know,
obviously.
I have no idea what this is.
Well, it's got to be Batmobile stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, this car's 50 kilos lighter than the P1.
That's
It is
super quick then, aren't you?
Oh yeah,
Really?
it's the bodywork is incredibly aggressive, but it's all about the aerodynamics and about the cooling.
There's a lot going on there, isn't there?
Yeah, huge amount. So we needed a bit more front downforce.
Okay.
We tried some louvers up here to try and get some more downforce. What we found is we affected the cooling here.
I see.
So that's why we've gone for the dive planes, but they look stunning. We started with a standard size front radiator, but we had problems with our cooling.
Okay.
So we've actually gone for a double size. So if you compare this to the P1, double the size, much more aggressive. The track of the car, 80 millimeters wider and running on full race slicks.
Significant, isn't it?
Yeah, and the suspension system, really, it's hugging the ground, really stiff. This car is really optimized for the track. I drove it a couple of weeks ago in Qatar, and it's a pleasure to drive.
Are we talking mind-blowingly?
Oh, mind-blowing. On the inside, it's actually got a Formula 1 steering wheel, 2009 Formula 1 steering wheel.
Okay.
It's got a sort of DTM style seat, 6-point harness. When you're driving, you're in a full race gear, hands device, helmet, you know, you're in the zone. Now, I drove it, I'm not a racing driver, but part of this car, it's about, not just the car, but it's about the package. We're offering a driver development package for this car.
Okay.
And some of our owners are actually racing drivers or have done a lot of track work. Some of them are actually retired individuals who've got a bit of time on their hands, a bit of money, and fancy.
I had a friend like that. But in those days, really, the only game in town was the F word, obviously.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
obviously, if you're giving a little bit of an edge to that, you're giving an alternative. I can see that there's going to be
We
a
are,
market.
and we're trying to put the McLaren, a bit of a McLaren spin to it,
Sure.
because we're actually offering the Human Performance Program
Okay.
as part of this program, and that is what we've developed for the Formula 1 drivers, and it's about the whole, not just fitness, but the human element of performance. When I drove this car, I did a 20-minute stint, and I was physically and mentally very, very tired. I'm not the fittest, I'm not a racing snake by any means, but I can really understand that actually being in the right physical and mental place to drive a car like this is good. So we're offering the Human Performance Program. We're also offering the opportunity for our owners to use the McLaren simulator.
Oh, fantastic.
Formula 1 simulator.
Right.
So when you take this car to a track, what we're saying is come to McLaren beforehand
Right.
and drive that circuit on the simulator. So for example, the first event's being held in Barcelona in October.
Right.
And so the owners are coming to McLaren already and driving Barcelona on the simulator.
So they got a heads up.
They got a heads up.
Okay.
The visual cues are exactly right. I mean, the Formula 1 drivers, they say it's within 0.1 of a second accurate between the
Gosh.
simulator and the car. So incredibly accurate.
That's amazing.
So it enables, I mean, the last thing you want to do is go to a new circuit. You could waste half a day just learning the circuit.
Sure.
If you can do that in the simulator,
You're
in the
making the
safety
most of the
simulator,
time, aren't you?
You make the most of it. So we're offering the simulator, the Human Performance Program. Because it's got a full race seat in there, do you want to have a look on the inside?
I'd love to.
So as you can see, a complete stripped out interior, Formula One steering wheel there. Each owner will have their seat actually moulded to their body, so exactly like the Formula One drivers, a moulding process.
There's certainly one special place, isn't it? It
just feels magic when you're in there.
It's just absolute tool, isn't it?
I drove it, and I tell you what, it's not scary, it's not terrifying, it's blisteringly quick, but you never feel as if the car is taking control of you. You actually feel in control of it.
But I think that's maybe that's what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe that describes what modern performance cars are about. It's not something that's going to instantly kill you. It's this tempered performance. It's sensibility.
Yes.
It's usable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess in that
I mean,
sense.
one of the things we really focused on in the P1 road car was, although it is absolutely full of technology and innovation, the feedback we had from our owners is, you don't feel impaired by driver aids. You actually feel completely in control. It's not synthetic, it is absolutely pure to driving, and we've tried to match that in this as well.
I understand that.
So yeah.
So this is a car that the owners are going to keep themselves, they're going to garage themselves, or is that something that McLaren will do for them?
So as part of the program, we're saying that we'll look after the car.
Yep.
We'll take it to the events, we'll maintain it, we'll store it, we'll actually pay for everything. Whilst the car's with us, the price tag of £1.98 million it includes six full events at iconic Formula One circuits.
So you can actually budget for it.
Yeah, and
that's attractive.
And it includes everything. So even the normal running, the wear and tear of the car, we're including. If you crash it, that's a slightly different
I was going to say, what
have.
happens if you nail it into the Armco?
But the other thing we're doing is, if you actually want to just buy the car and take the car away, you can. We're not limiting it to to say that we have to maintain it. You know, we would like you to come and do the program with us. But actually, if you want to do it, take it away and
do it your own way.
Then we'll help you.
Do you think it's a car that people are? Do you think anyone's going to just buy one and keep it to look at? Or
yeah, I was talking to a guy last night.
Really?
At dinner. He wants to do exactly that. He has a fantastic collection of cars he keeps. They've all got 0 mileage. How he described it to me is he's got a fantastic collection of cars, 0 mileage, a fantastic wine cellar, and what he does is he marries the two together, and he'll invite friends around to drink lovely wine in this beautiful surrounding of all his cars, and he wants a P1 GTR to have in that collection. And he's not wrong. It's a stunning car to
I can understand that, but I guess part of the fun of that has got to be the noise. It's got to be feeling the whole thing. It's interacting with it, I guess.
And you can see from the rear of the car, it's a fairly dramatic Inconel titanium exhaust. It certainly has got the
it's stunning, isn't
sound
it?
To go with it. Yeah, both the visual. It's got DRS, so you can see the rear wing actually does pitch. So on the steering wheel, you've got both DRS and iPass as you have the Formula 1 car.
So you can alter the whole thing. Can you replay the performance that you've sort of done in the car? Is there a way of downloading all of that data?
Yeah. So it's full telemetry in the car.
Okay.
We're actually to the point where you can drive the car in the simulator.
Right.
Yeah. So you can have your lap time, your trace, your braking points, your accelerations, all of those things. And then when you go to the circuit and you drive the car, we can start overlaying your simulation
to
your
can
actual.
See.
Yeah.
Right, here's a question. Who makes a simulator? Is that your own, or is that something that you have to...
It's actually an in-house developed simulator that I think we developed it over the last 10 years, actually.
So it's as good as it gets, I guess.
Oh, it's fantastic. And it is the ultimate Xbox, the ultimate, it really is. It's the full screen, curved screen, fully dynamic. You even have, in your crash helmet, you have a little knob on your head.
Yeah.
And there's something that actually pushes your helmet to simulate the G.
That's fantastic.
No, it's pretty stunning.
I've got to admit, the thing that's really struck me about talking to you is that your enthusiasm, it's completely boundless.
How can't you be enthusiastic?
This is like having one of those amplifiers that goes up to 11, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Cheers.